Ladies and gentlemen, we are here.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are here once again for another exciting episode, hopefully, of The Point Walk to Walk Hoop Talk. I am joined by my co-actors in crime, Craig Murray and Ed Davis. And tonight, like always, it's just three guys having a conversation. Old school view and new school news. Fellas, what's going on tonight?
What's happening, fellas? What's going on? What's happening?
Just ready to get after it again, man.
Ready to get after then? Well, you know, it's always fun to be here. You know, it's a myriad of things to talk about. And tonight, we're going to talk about what in the world is going on in college basketball. We have freshmen contributed at an unbelievable rate. Matter of fact, for the first time in 30 years, we've had four. Was it three or was it four? Correct me if I'm wrong. We had three freshmen go over the 40-point mark. That's something that we haven't seen for a long time. So we're going to talk about that. But you know, the fun part is not so much that they are putting these balls in the basket. It's the way they're doing it. That's the exciting part, because the way they're doing it bodes well for the future of the NBA.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Hey, just watching all those three young guys play, it makes you want to. And I know this is not right, but I wish when you see the press, I wish they did have the rule of you couldn't put your name in for eligibility for another year at least. So we could just have a chance to just see these guys play on the college scene and really elevate the college game. And even though you obviously know that there's bigger things for them at the NBA level, but
Yeah.
there's nothing better than watching a college game and seeing guys perform that way.
That's true, but
I agree.
I think that's true, but I think these guys are outliers, because the truth is the college game is being angredized because of NIL, because a lot of players are opting not to input their name in the draft because they have a better opportunity, at least financially, to stay in college. So yeah, you're going to get the cream of the creme that's going to raise to the next level, but the college game is being boosted by people who feel like, hey, the college game is my best opportunity for my family in the moment.
Well, and I think that goes well for the NBA as well. The longer that the kids stay in, the better they'll be prepared for when they do step onto the NBA scene. Because you see
Hopefully,
so
yeah.
many
That's true.
just not ready, and it's not ready. It's not ready physically. It's not ready mentally, and then understanding basketball concepts. I think to lose that when you jump right out of go from high school to college 1 year to pro, now all of a sudden that chance to really indulge in the game of basketball and get it to a point where because you're it's like going to college. When you first get there, you're never ever going to be prepared. I mean, you can do a lot of things, but it's just what it is. And the same goes for when you go to the NBA. It's just that you have a longer process to wait to have your opportunities. So I don't.
Now,
Yeah, I agree too, man. I go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Craig. I'm good. No, I was going to agree with what you were saying, Craig, about those players coming in and getting an opportunity to, if they stayed in college, to develop a little bit more. I think Ace Bailey would have benefited by staying another year, But I mean, he couldn't because he's one of the best players in the league. It's gonna be like that. I would imagine this year as well. There's a number of freshmen who, because of how they're performing, I guess their stock is going to be as high as it could possibly be. So, business-wise, they may have to come out.
But
That's what I was thinking.
But what's better than that? If you've got the aptitude for the NBA, I mean, are you going to are you going to grow more in the pro environment, or are you going to grow in the college environment? In some cases, it depends on what's necessary for you. You know, if you're still in the college game, you're learning to play the
Mm-hmm.
lead role, or you're really understanding your description and able to apply it consistently. That's one thing. Uh, but sometimes, you know, like you said, you have maximized your circumstance in college, whether even if it's just
Mm-hmm.
financial, and the next step is for you to move on. But talking about those three college guys specifically, you know, I watched a lot of that Houston and Texas Tech game, and Kingston Fleming. Good gracious. A
Yes,
long
sir.
body, and I was telling Ed the commonality between Fleming, Wagler, uh, uh, P- even Derek Peterson, the Bonsa. These not only are these players do they have size, but they're mobile and they're able to get places on the floor
Mm-hmm.
effectively. They all these players that I mentioned, from Bonsa, Peterson, Wagler, Fleming, they all score at all three levels, which is so impressive. Because I
Right.
love seeing people wear the middle spot out, because the most effective scorers are always going to take advantage of the middle spot, in my opinion. And so,
Mid-range. Yep.
yeah, in that batch of players, you know, the thing that I saw, the thing that impressed me the most, I should say, is like the individual skill set. Because we were talking about that earlier, Ed. Yeah, you may score 40 points, but I want to see how you get to 40. Because we talked about
Yes.
Boozer, we talked about your boy in Arizona, Craig Pete. Now they're doing things because they're hyper physical. Even though
Right.
DeBonce is hyper physical, but he's hyper physical with skill. Not that Boozer and Pete don't have
With.
skill. Yes,
Right.
but they're, like Ed said, they're more getting over with their bully ball prowess. And I don't know how transferable that is to the league immediately. Who do you guys think is
Right.
the most transferable in that group?
Oh, I'll say Devonta. It's not even close.
What I said. I told you. Yeah. He's
Not
ready.
even close.
And
Yeah.
right now, he's ready now.
It's the
Peterson.
footwork.
Yeah. The thing I'm watching him is he plays like a pro right now. And what I mean
That's
by that
Peterson.
is yes, Devonta, he plays like a
Uh-huh.
pro
Okay.
And
that he
Peterson.
lets the game come to him.
He
He
does.
doesn't he doesn't have to impose his will with having the ball in his hand. Most of the time he doesn't
Mm-hmm.
even have hands. And you know what he does? He understands everything about the game. Like he'll back you down like a pro. You know, he's got his back to the basket. He can turn and go over either shoulder. You know, he can pull up
Yeah.
off
Yeah.
off the dribble. You know, he understands he's smart enough to get you off your feet, and then he attacks the rim with just ferocity. And then then he handles the ball, but he doesn't overhandle the ball. And he's great in
No.
transition,
He's right.
knows how to finish,
Right.
you know. And then just watching him defensively, probably the one place where if you had to look at him, you say, okay, I see him take breaks defensively where he's just not in position ready to play, but he's still, because he's so long and he understands the
Mm-hmm.
game, you know, like it's
He
almost
will
like
recover.
he recovers, he cheats the code
Mm-hmm.
right there. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But
That's
he
true.
doesn't ever get himself so far out of position where it hurts his team. And then he goes
Right.
and rebounds the basketball. I mean,
Yeah, yeah,
and he does everything at an efficient level.
he does.
So
And
I
he
think
rebounds.
he's the most. Yes, yes,
He rebounds and he's a push man. He's able to rebound the
Mm-hmm.
ball and start the break. Yeah, he's definitely a freak athlete, but he's highly skilled. Um,
Mm.
that's
He's ready.
that yeah,
yeah.
he is absolutely right. I mean, he's surefire, can't miss, and you hear that term thrown around a lot, but there's really not a lot of deductions. Now, the thing that impressed me about the kid from uh, is it Illinois?
Illinois.
Is
Yeah,
Wagler.
yeah,
Wagler. Yeah.
Illinois? It's the way he operates in such small spaces. His handle is so tight and crisp,
Mm-hmm.
and he uses his body effectively, and they're able to get their shots off so fastly. That's the thing about it. You know, the NBA is actually, in a lot of cases, the college defenses are more staunch than what you have in the NBA. So when you see a kid that understands how to negotiate inside small spaces, that
Mhm.
makes him tough to deal with at the next level because the help is coming from further away because everything is more spread out in the league. So when we think about where the league is going with the crop of rookies that we're watching, the effectiveness of this rookie class, then with the youngsters coming behind them, hey man, it's exciting times for basketball fans. Come on.
It is. It is.
Well, definitely.
Wagner had a cat, junior or senior who was hurt. We gave him the opportunity to kind of let loose this weekend. See, so he'll be back. So, like I said, that was the first time I actually seen him.
Yeah.
That's the
Well,
first time I seen him. So I'm interested in watching him again. Kind of check him out and see if I can put the stamp on him, my personal stamp, like, oh, he the real deal. So
Yeah.
I'm waiting to see that. Uh, Caleb, we talking about the bouncer being ready. I see Caleb Wilson and the bouncer pretty close. I don't think Caleb is in the well. He doesn't have to handle the ball as much playing with Carolina, and I think that's a personnel. The personnel that North Carolina has.
He's not as
Go
tool
ahead.
at this point. He's not quite
Eh,
as tool as
yeah,
the Bonds.
it looked like it's there, but like he has to develop his shot a little. I think all of them are gonna have to do that when they get in the league, but he definitely had to make sure he's knocking his 3-point ball down. Uh, he can handle the ball pretty well. I like him a lot, man. He's gonna go 1-5 if I'm not mistaken. I believe.
yeah, I love his game as well. I mean, that length.
Yes,
Yeah, the length,
yes,
you know, I mean, shoot, he can take off from the free throw line and dunk it on, you
he
know,
can.
They
He
he,
can.
they
Yes,
but
they really are space eaters.
but
freak
he's not,
athletes, man.
I watched him a lot because my son loves Carolina. So I'll turn it on
Hmm.
and see how they're doing so I can have some conversation with him. But, just watching him play, like, I'm more impressed with his game than originally I thought because just watching him play a game and how competitive he is, I really like that. I didn't know how good Carolina was going to be. Nobody really talked about him a lot, but I
Yeah.
think he's great.
Let the let the tanking begin. We definitely are going to start seeing NBA teams doing some
Yeah.
serious tanking because there are some prizes in the balance without a doubt. So that's I'm interested in seeing when that starts. And speaking of the NBA, there are there's a lot of things going on that we need to talk about here. One of them is the the what is it? Self-imposed sabbatical of Giannis Antetokounmpo. What is going on with that young man?
So far away.
All right, so what's going on in the world of what's going on in the NBA circles, in the grapevines and the gossip columns? What's going on in Milwaukee? Giannis Antetokounmpo has self-subscribed a 4 to 6 week sabbatical. It's this is on the heels of the Milwaukee fans booing him and him booing back. So what in the world is going on in
Wait a
Milwaukee,
minute.
fella?
They booed Giannis.
About a week ago, the
Really?
crowd was booing. They were getting blown out, and the crowd
Oh,
started booing the
oh,
booing the Bucks, and
okay.
then Giannis subsequently went to the basket, got a 3-point play, was knocked to the ground, and was
Uh-huh.
like pumping himself up. The crowd was cheering, and he booed them back. Boo, y'all, boo!
Oh, I didn't see
And
that.
then now, a few games later or so, he's out, and he has uh determined that he will be out. Self-imposed 4 to 6 week sabbatical.
Also
I don't know.
said,
He'll be gone before next week. He'll be out of there before
He'll be
next
what?
week, man. He'll be out of there before next week. Oh yeah, he'll be gone
Hey,
for sure.
I told Craig during the break. I said, when are we going to start seeing these teams tank officially? Because it's something to tank for. You've got some serious
Oof,
players in the balance
oof,
waiting on you. So
yeah.
maybe Milwaukee has. Maybe it's mutual. Maybe Milwaukee's like, okay, big fella, it's time for us to make changes. They can get value from him. I don't know the ins and out of his contract, where his contract status is. Either you fellas know what his contract status
yeah,
is, but I
um,
do know that Milwaukee is under. Is it underachieving? They're not achieving. I don't know if it's
I, I,
underachieving.
I
When I
don't
think of
They're
be.
not.
formerly, when I
Think
That
huh?
that
team's not well constructed to me.
I think them going out. This is where we go back to when we talk about managership. Is
I know exactly what you're gonna say.
at
I know what you're
what
Me
gonna
too.
point
say.
do you think
Yep.
Damian Lillard and Giannis could play together? At what point? They're high
And
volume.
I
That
but
makes
That's
I,
no
only
I,
one
difference,
side of it, Craig.
no,
huh?
I said it. A lot of those
That's only
general
one
managers don't
side of it.
understand. They don't understand chemistry. And like I said, when you take a guy like Drew Holiday and
Drew
remove him from
Holiday.
that team, you can't. He gives you too much. He gives you too much
Yes.
for that particular team. See what I'm saying? They
Yeah,
should have kept Drew Holiday. And like I said, that's
that's right.
strictly on management making that decision to bring in Lillard. That's even on paper to me, that's not a good fit.
Drew Holiday has negatively impact of two franchises that jettisoned away. He
Mm-hmm.
hurt the Celtics when they let him go.
Yeah.
It helped Milwaukee in acquiring him, and
Yep.
now
Yep.
again, it's hurt Milwaukee to let him go. And sometimes chemistry deals you a unexpected blow because he's not
Mm-hmm.
fitting in as well in Portland as you might expect. So that, like you said, Craig, general management is critical for the
Yeah.
Yes.
consistent and long-term success of an organization.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I think you
Yeah.
got too many people who are in that management position that look at it more as what is that when they call that they look at points and scoring and they put it into a they put it into some type of thing and it spits out all these things and why it would help you. Bottom
Mm-hmm.
line is you guys know as many locker rooms as we've been in and chemistry, liking people, understanding each other's
Mm-hmm.
game. It's not just about what the stat line reads. It's about what that fit is like for those guys being together on and off the floor. I'm not saying that Giannis and
That's
Dame
it.
didn't get along, but it just wasn't it was like yeah, it just wasn't right. It's like putting a square
No.
peg into you know what I
Well,
mean? So
well, well, analytics will never be as effective as a pair of eyes with understanding.
right,
I agree.
right. That's
Never.
well
Yeah.
said right
I
there.
don't care.
Yep.
Yes, because you can analytics is it's a tool, and yeah, you can use it to help to get yourself in a certain mindset or a mind frame about the individual. But nothing's going to be more powerful than what you're able to witness if you understand what you're watching. So,
Mm-hmm.
um, the advanced they can miss me with a lot of the advanced analytics. It means nothing to me. In some cases it does, but not all the time. And you have to trust yourself. And the best people, like when you look at a Sam Presti, that that he has a special eye for talent. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to. You can't look
Yep.
on paper and determine how those parts are going to perform in the vacuum. You have to have an idea about what what their K's are. We talked about it before. KYC, knowing your capacity and KYL knowing your limitations. Well, that goes well. That goes to for general manager as well. I mean, you being able to determine the weaknesses of a player, the capacities of a player, and how that fits with another set of
Right.
players and their exclusives.
Saying that, when you talk about a general manager, it gives me a chance to sneak in, and I know you will be able to relate to this. Our guy John Snyder and what he does with the Seattle Seahawks. You know, he understands
Absolutely.
that.
I thought of him when I was talking.
Yep.
He
I thought
Yep.
of him when I was talking.
I mean, he's put together 2 Super Bowl teams. I can't remember if he was there for Holmgren's, but he definitely has put together 2 Super Bowl teams in with Pete Carroll and now with Mike McDonald. And that tells
I
you how well he understands, because he hasn't went out and gotten even in drafts. He's done great in drafts. He's done great in bringing somebody
Mhm.
in. You know, he's great in trades.
Mhm.
You know, he just gets it. You know, some people just get it. You
We
know,
we talked about that the very
uh,
first episode.
yeah. No, I was gonna say
And
that I judge general managers by them being able to find talent late down in drafts. Like
hmm
Jerry West was like that. No, did
yes,
nobody
yeah,
know who
he was
you know,
great.
Jerry West is great. He did that at Memphis. Of course, he did it for the Lakers, right?
Uh,
Then he goes back and does it for Memphis as well, and also Golden State. Like you said, he's able to put players together, put a good team, a good nucleus together where they just gel and mesh. And they're not all stars. Who knew
yeah,
Derek Fisher was going to be solid as he was? Did nobody know Derek Fisher?
right.
See, if you can go
Right.
down,
yeah.
if you can go down and find players like that in the draft that come in and help,
Well,
that's what a general manager is to me. A great
well,
one.
that's the fun part. That's the fun part of the of betting on games to me. Like,
Yeah.
I could playfully bet $5 or $10, but the fun part is putting together a bet roster,
Yeah.
guys that aren't necessarily on the radar, but who I've got a chance to watch and believe in their consistency to make their uh their numbers because of the skill sets they bring. No one has to
Mhm.
tell me about a player. Once I see a player, then I can make my own evaluations. A lot of times, I'll watch basketball games, believe it or not, guys. I'll watch games with the volume off. And so when
I
I'm
do the
watching the
same.
game, yeah, I'm
Yeah.
I'm 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 not uh, swayed it or impacted at all by whatever commentary is going on because I formulate my own. I know what I'm watching, and I mean it's not like I uh, don't enjoy listening to the color commentary, but it's sometimes it's trite because I'm like I said
Hmm.
I'm making evaluations in my own brain, and anything else is a distraction.
Let me
That's
ask
right.
you guys, because we talked about it. Now let's put it out there, because obviously that experiment in Milwaukee is over with. As I think, as we're looking at it now, it seems like we'll know by February. We'll know for sure by February 5th if it's over or not over with Giannis.
Yeah.
So the
What
Hmm.
experiment? What experiment? Because Adrian Griffin was 30 and 15, they let him 30 and 13, they let him walk. Are you talking
Bad
about the
management.
experiment of Doc Rivers?
Bad
You talking about the
management.
experiment of Doc Rivers? What are you talking about exactly, Craig?
Yeah, so yeah, you're right. You're right. So maybe bring it. Yeah, all things encompassed. But with that being said, where 2 things? Where is the best fit, or where do you see him being at? Who does he
Giannis,
help if you trade him
I know.
right now? Who does he help
New
win a
York,
championship
I,
right
New
now?
York,
I, I, I got, I
New
got
York.
that. Yeah. Thank you. Yep. He said it had four that they were thinking: the Knicks, Warriors, Wolves, and
Knicks.
Heat. I think the Knicks is probably the best spot for him because I think Milwaukee would be interested too because they probably would get Cat. They probably had to get rid of Cat. Cat's coming along with probably a couple other
Mhm.
players. He fits right in with Brunson, big body Brunson. You know,
Hmm.
of course
I
they probably gonna
definitely
take a
think New
quarter too.
York.
New York would be the best fit, and he's big time Hollywood too. That'd be perfect for him.
Who's the least fit for him then? Is it the Warriors? Are the
Mm.
Warriors the
Hmm.
fit for it?
I, I I believe the Warriors. Just in my opinion, just because Steph he has a short window right now. Steph have another 2 years maybe. And I'm
Right.
stretching that.
But
He's 38
don't you think that would help Steph though? Because
for 2 years.
Giannis
It's not going to help Giannis though.
that but that would help. Well, with Golden State, you'd have one's a space creator and the other one who just eats up lanes to the basket. Uh, I think I kind of that's the reason why I thought that Jimmy Butler and Steph were effective. Were going to be effective together because they score in different ways. One's more of a slasher. So
Yeah.
Giannis is complementary, and I think with the way Draymond, if you the a triangle between Giannis, Steph, and Draymond, as long as you have another shooter on the floor, man,
Well, it
that
would.
sounds
I
pretty
think
good to me
Draymond.
for that
I think
small
I think
window. For the
I think Draymond's gone. I think he's in the package.
You think so?
yeah. Well, yeah. He would. It
They were
would
talking
have to
about
be
Butler too. Butler and
about
some
Well,
Butler
draft
and
that
picks.
Kaminga.
that really changes your chemistry like crazy if you're gonna get rid of Draymond. I
But
mean,
Right.
that's your thinking cap.
Yeah.
if
So
if you if you're representing Giannis, right? My bad, Craig. I don't mean to cut you off. But if you're
I mean,
representing or you his agent and his team, why would you go to the Warriors when they're aging out? Would you go to the Warriors or would you go with the Knicks, who should have a nice run for the next 5, 6, 7 years? They should be pretty good if
right.
they can stay healthy. See,
If they
other
if
than
they
that, maybe Minnesota because of
What Golden State might fall into the draft lottery.
or either
yeah,
or in that
that's
14,
possible.
if there's a 14 trade, I think the best fits would be like a Kaminga and Butler going to a Milwaukee.
You're right.
Uh, uh,
You're right.
you got Giannis going to New York. You got Cat coming to. I think Cat fits in better with the Warriors than anything else because I think that's his game
I
is
can see that.
kind of
I can see
Yeah,
Cat
you
on
you're
the
know
right.
Warriors.
That's true. He just shoot the. That's a good
yeah
call there,
and
Craig. You're right. I didn't think about that. You're
I can
right.
see big Cat on the
how do
Warriors.
you
I
incorporate
can see
You're
that for
Miami?
right.
sure.
That's the
Yes.
thing. Four, you know. So is it a 3-team or a
Mm.
14 trade? That's that's the
That was a
powers
good
to
call
be
there. I didn't
know.
think about that. You're right.
Yeah,
Circling back to the college guys. I mean, we have some incredible impact players coming that are going to
yeah,
change the fortunes of
yeah,
franchises next year.
yeah, yeah.
I mean, and we innocently we talked about Darren Peterson being lethal, even though he's been a little injury prone. You put him in
Hmm.
the offense as the third piece, where especially as a rookie, where he's vital, but it's not pressurized. Kind of like the way Canepo gets to play. He's vital, but it's not pressurized where he has to be the guy. He just has to come in and play his role. I mean, I think Darren Peterson is a piece, just a 20-point cog waiting to happen in your offense, whether he's a number two or a high three, and eventually could evolve into your lead player. But it's exciting to think of what the prospects for some of these NBA teams, and they're gonna, like I said, they're gonna start the dumping or tanking officially after the All-Star break.
Right,
Facts.
right. Well, and I know just went back to this college scene. There's so many good college players out there right now. We were talking about
Yeah.
uh
True.
the kid from Illinois, the guard, uh Corey Boswell, who I watched
Wagner.
a lot on at Compass. He went to Arizona. He went to the University of Arizona for 2 years, and then transferred. He's from Chicago.
Hmm.
Transferred to Illinois. The one that's hurt. He hurt his wrist or something. So he's the one that allowed the kid to have that opportunity because he's a point guard, and he's their lead point guard for Illinois. But it really just gave him a chance to shine. But the other thing I was thinking about, Troy, is this right here is um the game Houston versus Texas Tech, and quiet as cat, and not even quiet as cat, because I think he's starting to make a play.
Jay
O'Kenny
Petty.
was good out there. Like,
Jay Petty,
okay,
man.
he can go. He can go.
I was checking him
So
out. Yeah, I'll check him out.
he can go. Yeah. He's
He's a little dude too.
everybody thought,
He's little.
yeah, he's a smaller guard. But
6'1".
he's,
You
yeah,
think he's 6'6'1"? He has about a 38-inch vertical.
oh yeah,
Peyton Siebel.
explosive. Yeah,
He's
yeah.
tough, explosive, tough-minded. He's out of the Metro League here, so he's used to stiff competition here in Seattle. Yeah, he's impressive. He destroyed the city for 2 years. It's not a fluke what he's doing. I'm Troy Miles, and I am here to tell you about the virtual game of basketball. Yes, the math, physics, and fundamentals, forward by Lenny Wilkins. If you haven't read this book, it's time to cop a copy. Time to cop a copy. Indeedy. Anyway, if you love basketball, you will love the virtual game of basketball. Really, it's the martial arts of basketball, all wrapped up into a nice little, easy to digest book. You'll love it. Trust me on that. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, we are at the end of another one. It goes so fast. As soon as Craig opens his mouth, the show's over. That's how fast it goes. But we are happy that you hung out with us. If this is your first time watching, please like, please subscribe, please share with a friend. Please tell them that these three guys having the conversation know what they're talking about. And it's true. We're having fun. We're hoping you're picking up some basketball knowledge. And like I said, this is just organic big talk, not small talk, big talk. What up, fellas?
Hey, I know it's a basketball show, but I'm gonna give a little shout out, and go Hawks. We're ready. The city's ready to bubble and explode, so we're ready. Yeah.
I'm actually pulling. I hate to
be.
I'm actually pulling for him.
Hey, the very first show. This is episode 34. But our very first episode, I believe I told Ed, explained to him that our Hawks, Craig, were going to the Super Bowl. And I know I'm connected, but I try to make these assessments without emotionality. And I really felt like
it's not true.
Just based on the preseason, what I saw with Darnold and what I was seeing from the defense, I was optimistic. And as the season rolled along, let me tell you, it's been nothing but what I expected. And I told you from day one, and we can go back and look at the film. But I told you that the Hawks would be in the Super Bowl, and it's part and parcel based on what Craig said, that John Snyder pulls the right strings, because at that time they had jettisoned Metcalf to the Steelers, and we were like, wow, that's a hell of a move. But he understood that he had a number one and Smith and Jigba, and that's the case. Anyway, so thanks again. We'll see you next week.
I got two quick things to say before I get off. Real quick.
Yeah.
Let the players and the managers pick the Hall of Famers. And one last thing. Somebody hire Mark Jackson, please. Somebody. Hire Mark Jackson. Come on.
Yeah.
Goddamn it. Hire Mark Jackson, damn it.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Peace, y'all.
Have a good one.
Next week.